The Minnesota DNR has confirmed zebra mussels in Maple Grove's Fish Lake. The confirmation comes after the Three Rivers Park District found the invasive species near the south public boat access. Divers then found evidence of zebra mussels infesting 4 areas of the lake. Minnesota law requires people to clean boats and drain all water after exiting a lake. We've posted the full guidelines for you to check out on our website, ccxmedia.org. In a look at what's on the ballot, the boundary lines for Senate District 37 shifted when district lines were redrawn this year. The district covers most of Maple Grove, as well as Corcoran, Greenfield, Independence, Loretto, Maple Plain, and Medina. Republican Warren Limmer is running for re-election against DFL challenger Fario Khalif. Here's what the candidates had to say.
Hi, I'm Warren Limmer, the Republican state senator running for re-election in Maple Grove, Corcoran, Greenfield, Independence, Loretto, Maple Plain, and Medina. I recognize there's challenges ahead. Today's rise of inflation is a threat to everyone. If families have to reduce costs, so must government. And we can start by repealing the income tax on Social Security checks. Instead of defunding police, we must strengthen police while increasing sentences for repeat violent offenders. And as a father, I want our kids to be safe and reach their full potential through a quality education system that includes and empowers parents. I'm Senator Warren Limmer, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you again, and may God bless.
Hi, I'm Fario Khalif, the DFL-endorsed candidate for State Senate in District 37. I'm dedicated to raising the voices of people in my district. I have been engaged in issues of education, housing, domestic violence, health, and public safety. This has given me a first-hand understanding of the issues facing our community and has earned me a reputation of tireless advocate, bridge builder, and trusted collaborator. Minnesota has challenges that require a new kind of leadership, a leadership that I can provide. I recognize that all voices need to be heard. Approaches of the past are no longer effective. Collaborative and creative leadership are what is needed today. That is what I will bring to the Senate. My goal is to provide all Minnesotans with the opportunity to thrive. I will be honored to have you vote and serve you as a state senator. Thank you.
You can learn more about what's on your ballot at ccxmedia.org. A man who lives in Golden Valley believes the world needs more positivity, and he's trying to spread his positive message through a book. We sat down with Ron Henderson to learn more about his book, Activate Your Inner Shark, in today's Newsmakers.
My book is really about the process of people making the best versions of themselves and how they do that. And you hear a lot of people talking about improving in this and improving in that. But I've broken it down in such a way that makes people realize that to become the best versions of themselves, they have to actually prepare to do that. They have to be prepared mentally and physically, but it's a process that I call self-staging.
Like you're staging your home.
Like you're staging your home, yep. And when you self-stage properly, you do what I call, you're activating that inner shark in you, and you become a predator for positivity.
All right, so it's about changing your outlook.
Outlook, emotions, and everything, so that you're no longer being controlled by people's actions, people's words. So they're recognizing those triggers, so when something happens that irritates them, they recognize it for what it is, and they go, this is kind of an irritation, but I don't have to be negative about it. I can be positive, and they catch that, they recognize it, then they release it, just like when you're catching fish. You catch it, you let it go. Recognize what it is, but don't let it consume you, so that you can continue to have a great day.
All right, so how did you come up with all of this?
43 years as a personal trainer, dealing with people that a lot of these people are very well off, but were very unhappy. And so I've had 43 years of that process and my life working. I made mistakes when I was younger, but I've also worked for the Department of Corrections, so you see a lot of people making mistakes. I used to speak a lot in these different places, and you hear people give you feedback and they go, I need more of that. And they'll say, how do you not get upset? And I said, well, I recognize that when I get upset that I'm giving that person power. And slavery has been done with for many years and years and years. And when I give you power over me, I've actually become your slave. I take the power back by taking the control back and responding appropriately in a positive manner.
And you catch it and release it. That's something you talk about as well.
That's one of the main things I talk about in the book. I talk about not judging a book by its cover. I also talk about not always having to be right. A lot of arguments because people feel like they have to be right. You don't have to be right. Allow somebody to be right. Allow that person to be right.
That's harder. That's easier said than done.
You can learn to do that, though, when you recognize that there's power in that. Because you will argue with somebody back and forth. And why? Because you feel like you have to prove yourself. There's nothing to prove. Allow them to be right. Put yourself in their shoes.
All right. Well, if folks want to read your book, they want to pick it up, what should they do?
Amazon.com.
All right. Ron Henderson, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All
Great.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The current exhibit at Robbin Gallery brings together two very different styles of art. The show is called Impermanence. Kara O'Connell's paintings aim to represent what people gain as they age, while Jennifer Zoss paints abstract. Having the two styles side by side gives visitors a unique experience.
The people in Kara's works are imperfect in a way, and Jennifer's works are not realistic in the sense that Kara's are. It just has a wonderful flow about it.
And we'll leave you now with more images from the show.
The Wayzata boys soccer team is in the state tournament for the 16th time in school history. In this week's CCX Sports Spotlight, John Jacobson profiles an outstanding senior leader for the Trojans.
It's just kind of flown by, and it's been a great experience. I've loved every second of it.
And just like that, the end of Joe Highfield's prep soccer career is in sight. The Wayzata senior has been a standout since he came to the program and is, in his head coach's opinion, real game changer on the pitch.
His sophomore year, he was voted team MVP. That group only lost one game all year. His junior year, he was hurt on and off. The games he started, he only lost one game. And this year, he started every game, and we've lost one game. So in his high school career, he's lost 3 games as a starter. So big time player.
The All-State player and Mr. Soccer finalist moved from midfield to forward this season and has still made an impact, despite being marked up more by opposing teams.
It's difficult sometimes, but one correct play is all it takes to get a goal. And also, if teams are man marking, I know it opens up space for other teammates. So if I can to try to be effective, as effective as I can with someone on me, that's what I try to do.
Highfield has netted 17 goals this fall and admits his size gives him an advantage in front of the net on header goals, including this one that gave the Trojans a section overtime win over Minneapolis Southwest.
I think I've been playing pretty well. I mean, I can't do any of this without my teammates. I've had some fantastic teammates and great family at Wayzata, so yeah, it's been a great season so far. I've really enjoyed it.
This year has been especially rewarding for Joe since he spent much of 2021 in pain from a bone fracture in his foot suffered early in his junior season. He taped the foot up and played through the injury as best he could.
Certain tape jobs would be better than others, but the pain was pretty bad for the most part. So yeah, it was playing through, that was pretty hard, but sitting out was even harder.
A successful off-season surgery now has Joe playing pain-free. Header by Highfield. Next year, he will head west to play Division I soccer at the University of Portland, one of the top men's programs in the country.
It's a small school, and I was a really big fan of it. It's also it's in a beautiful location in Oregon, and I love Oregon. I have family out there, so I've been there a few times, and I've been to the campus a few times.
I think he's a good fit for them. They're a big-time D1 program. Wherever they play them, it might be up top or it might be in the midfield as an attacking mid. I think he's going to do quite well.
Not only is he good at soccer, but Joe is a big fan of the beautiful game too. He credits his dad for that. Matt Highfield is a native of England and enjoyed a Hall of Fame career at Macalester College in St. Paul in the early 1990s.
Ever since I was a little kid, my dad had showed me Liverpool in England, and I watched them every weekend. When I was little, I watched it every weekend with my dad.
3 more wins would give the Trojans their first state soccer championship since 2017. For now, Joe Highfield is trying to enjoy the time he has left.
Getting coached by Coach Duenas has been awesome. It's a new experience and I have loved it. But the biggest thing about it is the culture. The guys have always been like a family and it's kind of hard to get away from. I couldn't think of not playing a year at this high school. It's been great.
Joe says he is undecided on a major in college. During club season, he plays for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. 7 teams in all from our CCX viewing area qualified for the state soccer tournament. That includes the Benilde girls. Jason Malillo has highlights from their section final.
In Section 5AA girls soccer, it's Benilde St. Margaret's against Orono in the championship match. Less than 5 minutes in, Kaya Gillian chips the pass to Brooklyn Miller, and she skips a low shot in for a 1-0 Red Knights lead. Then later in the first half, Lauren Hillens scores on the free kick. Benilde would go on to win 6-1, and the Red Knights are section champions. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.